Welcome to Night Shift, everybody. Now, we're not officially starting yet. I know you can hear me, but can't see me. Don't worry, you're here. We're good. Just waiting for everything to fire up. I can't wait to have this conversation. What a game to come back with Night Shift. Oh my goodness. We're just moments away. So hang in there. Okay, let's see if I remember how to do this. Start the live stream from San Francisco. It's Sharks Night Shift right now.
Broadcasting live and worldwide. Here's Brody Brazil.
Yo, welcome to the live stream. I almost said the show. It is a show. It's a program. It's not officially like television, but that's what makes it special. It's you and I. It's after the post-game show. It's after a huge Sharks win. Every Sharks win this season is to be celebrated. After all, they're 6-9-3 through 18 games. But especially a win in regulation. Especially a win where you score 4 times in the third period. Especially a win over Las Vegas, who had recently won 9 in a row. Now they've dropped 2 in a row. And especially when you're the Sharks, you allow 2 or fewer. And you get your third one of the season for the very first time. I guess what I'm saying here is that tonight's victory checks all the boxes. That's probably the sweetest part about it. You get versatile goal scoring from Cunnin, his third on the year. Matt Nieto's second. Timo Meier scored on the power play. So you get even strength. You get the power play. You get the empty netters at the very end to just really seal the deal. And how about watching those Las Vegas hockey fans going up the steps with a couple minutes left in the game, right? That's like the ultimate we did it feeling. Satisfying for the Sharks to have this road trip where they played well start to finish. I mean, even the St. Louis game was not bad, but the win in Dallas, the comeback win in Minnesota, and tonight another comeback win for the Sharks against a very good Las Vegas hockey team. This was a road trip where St. Louis, Dallas, Minnesota, Las Vegas, this could have burned you. And quite honestly, the Sharks almost swept it. Now, things were tight, right? Last game was a shootout win. So, you know, it on paper, it may play out than the way we witnessed it. But overall, like, here's the overarching theme. The Sharks have turned a corner. I don't think there's any question about it, no matter how you slice it, no matter how you look at it. And I'm about to look at it in this very simplistic way. Look at the games they've played this season, right? Those 2 in Europe, which I'm not saying they don't count, but they're different. You're halfway across the world, and Nashville beats you twice. The first game, a bit one-sided. The second game, Sharks only lost by 1, but they go on to lose 5 in a row to start this season. And the Chicago game, I think, was the most hard to swallow. If I recall correctly, the Sharks scored the first 2, allowed the final 5 in that one at SAP Center. And it had a really bad taste. And then you go on the road, you lose to the Islanders, but it was an overtime win against the Rangers. If we're going to draw a line, it kind of starts here, where all of a sudden, win, loss, and even a 2-1 loss, okay, win, loss, overtime win against the Leafs. Remember that one? Kind of a statement for the Sharks in that game at SAP Center. Was that a Friday or Saturday night? lose to Tampa, but then you come right back with 3 games in a row where you'll lose in the shootout to the Ducks, Panthers, and Ducks again. I know you're not getting the results, and I know they lost 5 in a row here, but they got points in some of those games, and they were playing so much noticeably better. And now, it's not even depicted here yet, but after losing these 5, then they win 3 in a row. So I'm literally here to say that somewhere around here, the end of this road trip out east, that last 6-game homestand, the beginning, they've just played better. And again, the 5-3 loss to St. Louis, the 5-4 win against Dallas, the 3-2 win against Minnesota, and tonight, 5-2 against Las Vegas. This team has taken a turn. Now the question is, the big part about this is, okay, so they've turned a corner. They've made some strides. And most of it, I think, revolves around goal scoring, right? At first, in the beginning of the year, let's just go back to this. Look at goals for. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3. Oh, 3. That's a big deal. That was a third, by the way, in the shootout. Overtime. That was a Karlsson overtime winner. 1. Okay, finally, you shut out the Flyers and you score 3 in regulation for the first time. Okay, finally. But then you go right back to scoring 2 against Las Vegas. But then 4, 3, 5, 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, and 5 again tonight. Scoring has come around. The power play has come around. Some of the main players, Timo Meier, Erik Karlsson, Logan Couture, have all come around and contributed. So I'm here to say that absolutely, if there was question coming into tonight, have the Sharks turned a corner? That has been resolved. They have. But can they sustain it? Does it last for a week or two? Does it last for another game or two? Is it over the next game? It remains to be seen. I don't even have a definitive answer. We're still figuring this group out, the coaching staff out, the team as a whole out. We're figuring everybody out as individuals and collectively. I would love to, tell you in a couple weeks that, wow, they did turn that corner and they never looked back. I don't know for sure. But I think it's clear to see in results, in stats, but just watching the games with the eye test. And I think that's another part of tonight's game, which was so satisfying. It wasn't just that the Sharks kept fighting in the game, but it was even the way that they scored the goals. For example, Cunnins on a rebound, but it was Nico Sturm being hard on the puck, getting it back out low to high to Erik Karlsson. He had to kind of maneuver around closer to the wall to get that shot off, and it produced a juicy rebound. It was the Sharks hanging on to the puck, being patient with the puck, being comfortable with the puck. Barabanov had a great feed in the second period, in tight to Matt Nieto. He had some quick hands in small space. It was like a phone booth type goal. That was huge. And then Logan Couture walking and deking his way into the scoring area and feeding Timo Meier for the ultimate 3-2 game-winning goal. And then the 2 empty netters, obviously, they just make you feel good. But it was the way the Sharks played tonight, how they scored. Look, Las Vegas is a really tough opponent this year. Really good team. Let's throw James Reimer's name into this conversation. First time he's started 3 games in a row this year. Now, that shouldn't come as a surprise. He's been a huge part of why they've been successful and what they've done in turning things around. But I think for David Quinn to maybe detach from the idea that he needs to make a tandem, he needs to, have some kind of balance. No, you want to win. And I don't, it's not a disrespect to Kaapo Kähkönen. It's just the way Reimer is playing right now. Why would you not want to capitalize on that as much as you could? By the way, I'm going to get through the comments in the chat here. A lot of times I get so invested in my own thoughts on the game, and I do have a lot. But I think it's important to go through and do the feedback as well. So just to recap, you're down 1-0 after 1. You're down 2-1 after 2. But you're fighting in this game, and you can feel that the Sharks aren't far away from it. That's the reassuring thing, that we haven't had that feeling for this team in a lot of their earlier games. We absolutely didn't. But tonight, we definitely did. And, patience as a Sharks fan definitely paid off. So let's dip into the live chat here. Oh, Brutus, how about this? First win in regulation against Las Vegas since Game 5 of the Stanley Cup playoffs in 2019. Yeah, because last year, right, Bordeleau won it in the shootout. Ooh. I mean, that's a sobering fact, Brutus, but I appreciate you bringing it up. It sets the scene on what tonight really was. Timo with the game-changing goal. Caker Girl, we know you're his biggest fan, and I appreciate you being here. I've missed you. I've missed doing these live streams. It's been a sequence of timing, schedule, couple games on Sundays. I don't want to go up against the football audience and early start time, whatever. And then I was on vacation for a week and happy to be back. So these will be a lot more regular from here on moving forward. So I've missed the live streams. Tim says, I think we need more Brody dress-up segments. You just want to see me in the Seals jersey, right? Seals teal. I forgot to say that on TV. That's what I'm calling that seafoam color of the California Golden Seals. Seals teal. That's what I'm calling it. 2 or fewer. Absolutely. You got it, Caker Girl. That's the name of the game. And it always has been. And the problem is, like I said before, when the Sharks were scoring 2 or fewer, that ain't going to work. Instead, they're allowing 2 or fewer. I don't know why I gave you the beer sound effect, but all right. Enough of the soundboard, Brazil. Let me get back on my right pages here. How about Caker Girl? Yeah, it's great to see how they fixed the whole second period problem. Remember when they were getting outscored in the first 5 or 6 games? Was it 19-3 in second periods? And tonight it was just an evenly played 1-1 second period. Great. Glad to get over that, real or mythical jinx or whatever it was. I'm glad that is not a thing anymore. I don't know why it ever was a thing. There's no good reason it should have been, but it was. And how you get rid of it or how you get through it, I don't know. But they've done it. Brody looking good with your special gift box. Yeah, the reverse retro jersey came in more than a week ago, probably about 10 days ago. In fact, I did a live unboxing of it here on YouTube. They sent them out to influencers. And, that's what you get, Curtis, when you're not on the, quote, social. You don't get all the prizes that go along with it. Yeah. Let's discuss this, Big Bird. Erik Karlsson, arguably the best skater on the Sharks. I mean, you could, right? Who else is in that conversation? There's a few, but you could put Karlsson in as one of the best skaters. So how on earth does it happen where 2 games in a row he takes near identical tumbles, and in the Wild game, it cost the Sharks a goal? Didn't cost him the game, it cost him a goal. And tonight, almost the same play. And I doubt it's technique. I doubt it's equipment. It's 2 different hockey rinks he's playing in, so it's not the same rut on the ice, but near the identical spot, just inside the blue line. It's hard to figure out how that happened. And we could have fun with it now. I'm not going to laugh at it, but I think it's just so bizarre. And I'm sure he's having a laugh at it because of the result. If it was that plus a loss, yeah, nobody's finding it funny, but let's just hope that those 2 are out of his system and you don't see it again for his sake and for the team's sake. Let's go back to the comments here. Reese saying statement win. Looks like these guys are finally buying into Quinn's system. And I don't know if it's the buy-in that's happening now or just the comfort factor. And Randy and Drew alluded to this in our pregame show, and if there's 2 gentlemen that would know the Sharks and reading a team and understanding the mood of the players on the bus, at the hotel, on the team plane, it's Randy and Drew, right? I mean, they're around and they're no dummies, right? They're paying attention. And they kind of both said, in the pregame show that this is a Sharks team right now that just looks to be feeling better, having fun, enjoying what they're doing. And even when on nights they don't get the result, they're put together a little bit better. And I think it's just a comfort factor. And again, it's not that they weren't bought into it before. It's just maybe now that things are finally clicking. So Reese, I think timing and everything is part of it. And Brutus points out here, yeah, only took 2 weeks. Well, I mean, we're what, about more than a month into the season at this point, but I would say the first 2 weeks, actually we're like 5 weeks in, but then they took a week off. So let's just say it like this. If we're 4 weeks in, the first 2 weeks were not great. The last 2 weeks, as I just showed you on the game log there, yeah, that's when they've turned it around. People will focus on these last 3 wins as the turnaround, but the turnaround, honestly, trust me, has happened way before that. I've missed you too, Big Bird. I appreciate that. Still have some things to work on, but trending in the right direction. Totally agree. Brutus with a great reminder. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you don't. Yeah, and I have been doing some product reviews. Thanks for noticing. Streaking. Yeah, that's right. 2 in a row, not officially a streak, but 3 is for the first time this year. Caker Girl likes how Randy and Timo pointed out the importance of the team's chemistry. It really strengthens their game. And you know what? That's what I was just talking about. It's the team and how they're put together right now that's probably paying off more than it was in the first few weeks. Big Bird wants a podcast. I'll do a separate video on that. Howdy to you too. Sorry, I'm trying. Alden, good to see you too. Always love beating Las Vegas. That right, and like I said before, tonight's win had pretty much everything. The comeback, the 2 or fewer, the 5 goals, couple empty netters, 5 different scorers, right? The streak you get to continue. The streak you have to continue for Las Vegas. Yeah, it was good. Scott, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you for being in the live chat. Baker91, Triple Sharks. Yeah, it is a happy flight home, and that's a good feeling. That's a good road trip, right? Got it done in regulation. A true Sharks victory. Embarrassment for the home team and their fans. Well, look, Las Vegas is still 13-4. But they're going to have to answer some questions. How could you be up 1-0 and 2-1 and then blow it like that in the third? How could you lose 2 games in a row for the first time this year? Trust, I'm not in that dressing room tonight, but I guarantee somebody asked that question. What's it feel like to lose twice in a row for the first time this season? Well, it feels great. Let me tell you. It's a tough question. Somebody asked it, though. Brutus says, I believe our biggest problems are warming up in the game and playing to our opponent's level. Like the 49ers. Oh, we're crossing platforms here. So we got to stay on top of the entire game. I would agree, Brutus. There are some nights, and I think even going back to those 2 Anaheim shootout losses, how can the Sharks play so well against a Dallas like they did just recently, and a Minnesota like they did, and tonight against a Las Vegas? Because Las Vegas goes and trounces Anaheim. Dallas goes and handles Anaheim. Minnesota goes and shellacks Anaheim. Why can't the Sharks go do the same thing? And I'm not saying that that's intentional. I'm just saying that, yeah, I would agree, Brutus, and it is an interesting point that, and it's not, how do you fix that? How do you get around it? I don't know. It just seems like coming off these 3 wins and in their next game, who are the Sharks going to be? And does it depend on who they're playing, right? Good teams get away from who they're playing against and playing up or down to a certain level. Good teams, it doesn't really matter. It's a good thing that I have the mute button here. Hang on a second. I had to clear my throat. The frog was trying to get me. By the way, I'm healthy and everything, working out, feeling physically good, but I just can't get rid of the nasally frogginess. So I apologize to all of you listening and watching this and fighting through that too. This team is fun to watch. Well, you know what, Chris? I agree, but I also want to give it some more time. And you all know me as the optimist. I generally have a positive flavor and a positive viewpoint. And just I'm not, that's not manufactured. That's just a lot of times what I'm translating versus there's a lot of pessimism out there. But even I'm telling you to give this thing another week or two to just make sure that they can latch onto something, develop a calling card, an identity to have your top players still be your top players. I think that's important. Trending up, no doubt about that. I just noticed that this button wasn't done and it was bugging me. I must have unbuttoned it all when I changed. It's Corona 29. Just popped in. I strongly believe the Sharks could be 1 or 2 players away from being a legit team. They're very competitive as they are right now. Agreed. Right now, as in maybe the last week or two, and especially these last 3 games. Not to be too repetitive here, but I need to see it sustained for a bit before you really buy into that. Like, make no doubt about it. This is a franchise in transition. There might be moves and trades and maneuvers throughout the course of this season that benefit years down the road. I know people are excited. Winning 3 in a row and playing convincing hockey, that's what, like, this comment is a product of that. I totally understand. I'm not discouraging people from enjoying this at all. I want you to as well. But just understand that, right now is still the steps forward and maybe not the top of the mountain yet, right? Yeah, well, Edgar's still wondering, can they hold on to it or should hope for Connor Bedard? And that's kind of the thing, right? Like, some people are on that, like, wait, win? You're winning too much. First off, that's a ridiculous thought. I mean, these are competitive individuals. They're going to do their absolute best. So, let's see. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind here. Let me try and speed through these. I think Randy had a good point when he was talking to Timo. Oh, I think I got to this one. It's important to keep the game fun, not just all business. You know what, by the way? It's crazy. My camera at the home studio, if I move like this, it doesn't keep the focus. Like, it's fixed, the focus. But here in the conference room, I have a different camera, and watch, it'll focus on that, and then me. I don't know. It's just, I don't know, entertaining for me. Ash, as for the talks about a Carlson trade, it can't happen. He has a dance class with Megna. What's this? You high-fiving me on that one? We are here for your insights. Love hearing from another fan. I appreciate that. I really do. Oh, Steven, you were here in the class today or with the class? San Francisco State brought some broadcast students through the studio earlier. So, Steven, I appreciate it. I'm sorry if I couldn't be fully attentive earlier. It was kind of just our crunch time in getting ready for the show and making sure that, everything was lined up for how the pregame show we wanted it to play out. But great to have you here. Vegas players say they should win. They're the better team. Oops, he forgot the game was 60 minutes. Well, look, I think if you're Los, and I don't know what you're referring to specifically, but yeah, I mean, look, on paper, Las Vegas should have been the team that had a 5-2 win tonight. But that's the beautiful thing about sports. Brody, remember my classmate Dominic? Oh yeah, went to meet Curtis. And Curtis Brown said, "Who let this guy in?" I think Curtis knew Dominic from some previous hockey. Caker Girl, proud of how the boys are pushing and growing. Can see them really trying to fix the problem. And look, I mean, you're going to have a group that understands the situation, understands that, the report was out there that every player was on the table in terms of trade talks, and they take it personally and they want to make a statement, right? And it doesn't mean that they can fix it all entirely and that this team is a competitive playoff-bound team. Not yet. There's a lot of season to go. We're only 18 games in. We're not even a quarter of the way through. But I do like to see that they have a sign of life. I really do. First regular season win at the Fortress. Oh, is that? No, there was last year, right? In the shootout, Bordelot shootout winner for Carlson. Get a new pair of skates. Dalton wondering, when can we see Curtis join me for an episode? I know last year you had Drew for a few. Oh, yeah. And Randy is at the games now, right? So that's a different thing. So Dalton, separately, Curtis and I have talked about this because I think you all will enjoy this even more than him joining me in this setting. We're going to put these cameras and a different wireless mic on for probably a pregame show. And Curtis and I will be live on the YouTube channel at the same time we're live on television. So you'll get to see us like as the interviews are playing and as the commercial breaks happen and the 5 or 10 minutes leading up to the show. I'm not sure when we're going to do that, but I will keep everybody posted. So hopefully that's kind of what we thought would be best for showing everybody a little bit behind the scenes. But it's just tough for him. He's got a long drive. I mean, we both do, but it's already, 10:40 at night. So on these later ones, I don't want to impose and keep him here. But yeah, the opportunity will definitely come. As long as Karlsson keeps scoring like he's doing, I don't care how many times he falls. You know what? Karlsson has taken on the role, I mean, obviously of Brent Burns' departure, but getting pucks through lately. I mean, like tonight, it's his puck that gets through that allows Cunnin the juicy rebound there. So I think as much as, Karlsson was on a goal-scoring streak there, just getting pucks through, helping the offense create has been a big part of it. Carly's falling twice reminds us that we're all just human. None of us are perfect. And that's what I wanted to say on the postgame show. I'm glad we did it that way. It's just, it's too easy. Too many people on television. That's funny. No, I mean, it's not funny to him in the moment. It's not what he wanted to do. But I think it's a learning experience and a teaching opportunity. This happens to literally one of the best skaters in the league. 2 games in a row, so it can happen to anybody. Felix, good to see you. It has been a minute. It's been like 15 days, I think, since my last live stream. Vegas, I still don't understand why you find penalty killing that hard. Oh, Cody, sick burn. Wait a second. Oh, well. I'm going to give you, Cody, I'm going to give you an applause. At least it wasn't a 5-minute major tonight, right? You only had to kill 2 minutes. Chris saying that's it. They look like they're having fun and they've decided they're not going to be easy to push around, or so it looks. Well said, right? I think that's the response. It's hard to have fun without Jumbo. Well, maybe the big fella comes back in some capacity. I don't know. Couldn't watch intermission because with the sound on. Oh, you were in class, Felix. Oh, but that's dedication. You're very busy with the group project. But thoughts on the reverse retros, yay or nay? Yes, I like them. I think they pop the gold with that seal teal. It's one of those things where when you've seen renderings and you've seen them on models or in photos, they don't do justice. Wait until you see the full team wearing them on the ice at SAP Center the night after Thanksgiving. Like, that's when I want you to judge. Same thing with the Sharks' new jerseys from this year. Everybody saw them. They're like, oh, that's a lot of teal. When you see them at home games in person, you're like, oh, I get it now. And with the mitts, the socks, the buckets, all the above. So I think you're going to like them. I mean, I'm not forcing you to. I'm not saying everybody needs to. I'm just saying it's one of those things where even when you see like the one I've got, no numbers, no name, it's, nothing else attached to it. Yeah, it looks good, but it'll look great with the full complement. Thomas is a and he's got you got the aviation headset on there? Thomas, you flying planes, buddy? What's going on there? That looks like an aviation headset. Sharks win, Kings win. Man, the Kings beat the Nets and scored 153 points. This is like a dream. I mean, I've got all the sound effects here. Because I work for those guys. What else do we have here? That's not funny. Okay. Can we really take a quick moment to appreciate Randy and Drew's amazing commentary during the game? Something that I really miss when I go to a game in person. You know what? And Randy with the money tie tonight, the $100 bill tie. It was classic. It was classic. I could turn this into a separate recording and make it a podcast. You're right. Brutus, I agree, and I've thought about that before, but I feel like a podcast needs to be like a separate thing. There's no video. It's more intimate, and I can really get up here on the microphone and just, do that. And I'm just kidding. I won't do that. But I feel like turning videos into podcasts, if I used to do that, I feel like it's cheap. I really would want to do a podcast that's separate. I'm kicking the tires on the podcast right now. So let's go back to this. Does Joe have an official job yet, or is he just hanging out at the CUDA games for fun? I think Joe's figuring things out, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised to see him officially at some point, but I think he's just figuring things out. Haley says, the EK65 toe pick saga, though. It's Skategate for Erik Karlsson. I took off my cool effects on here, but if I had the echo, I would have done it. Felt good to be finally on the winning side of a come-from-behind game. Victories like this can help build momentum to get in a positive direction. I totally agree, right? And it's not just winning games. It's like in Dallas, hanging on to a lead. The Stars fought back in that game. In Minnesota, you were down 2-0. Played a really good third period, got 2 goals. It's 2-2. Overtime, both teams traded glorious chances. Nothing happened. Then you win in the shootout. And then tonight, to allow the first, to get the second, to allow the third, and then all of a sudden a barrage of goals in the third period, I thought was awesome. Anaheim just beat Detroit. Well, because that's earlier when I was saying that Anaheim, I'm not saying they're a pushover, but just saying that they're beatable. Am I rooting for the USA in the World Cup? Of course. I'm kind of getting excited about it. It's obviously weird this time of year. Totally non-traditional. It's usually a summertime thing. Wake up early, crack a beverage, watch the beautiful game. But here we are in November. Felix, the $1 million question, am I ever going to respond to your Yes, you know what, Felix? I apologize. As I just said earlier, I was gone for a week, and I know you probably messaged me. I know you did earlier than that. Yes. Give me another day or night. I will get back to you. And I appreciate Jeez, hang on. I appreciate all the persistence and all the support you and Brutus and Caker Girl have been unbelievable in helping me out here on the channel and with other things. So I just want to say thank you for that. Howard Terminal questions. Reed, what are you eating? Corn in your picture there? What's going on? That's a good one. I'll do a separate video on that. I don't want to get too far off topic here, but the elections that just happened, the new governor in Nevada, we're still waiting to figure out who's the new mayor in Oakland. I want to wait until the dust settles on that before I come up with some new numbers. Am I losing my voice a little bit? Maybe it's time to check out. And yes, that's been sitting there for a month. I just said, I've been a little bit behind the curve, and I do apologize for that. You deserve better than that. Timo looked good. And Vlasic, your favorite, has had assists in the last couple games. That's another topic that should also be discussed at length. I mean, we did it on our pregame show, but I feel like it should be expanded on. Marc-Edouard Vlasic, definitely a bounce back type season this year. And it's not going to get noticed as much because what he contributes is not always, headline material, but one of the penalty killers and everybody in that group. And look at tonight. They were perfect. They've been phenomenal all year long. So, Ash, I know what you're talking about. Karlsson and Megna do the daddy-daughter dance classes. Yeah, okay. I didn't know if you were making a D-man like footwork joke or something. Now I remember seeing that, I think on Instagram, probably where you saw it too. Okay, now it makes sense. Totally get it. Really want to hear about the Megna and Carlson dance class. Oh, maybe it was a response to that comment. Sharks fangirl has always hated Vegas with a passion ever since they hurt Pavelski and made him bleed from his head. I think it was out of his ear, right? And their fans were cheering on his injury, and Logan Couture ended up and called them out on Twitter. Did he? I don't remember. It's all sketchy to me, or it's all blurry to me now in retrospect. But anyway. In other news, NASA's about to launch a rocket. Dalton, are you trying to get people to tune away from this? And Sharks night shift is not enough for you? You're trying to get people over to the NASA's YouTube channel? What's going on here? No, I did see that actually, and I am interested. I may go check that out as I drive home. Tenacity pays off. This team really difficult to play against when they get rolling in a game. And I'll tell you this, Jeff. One thing about the Sharks is test them in overtime and 3-on-3 hockey, and I think they'll always have a chance. I really do think that. Did I freeze? Did the stream freeze for a second? I apologize if it did. Man, I'm here on the NBC corporate internet. You would think that it would be just buzzing, full 1080. Oh, I'm good. I froze for a minute. All right. Well, I think it's just trying to tell me that tonight's done. You had me hysterical asking Hanner if his wife really cut his hair. No, she does. Hanner's wife cuts his mohawk in for him. So if I need a mohawk, I know where to go. Had to come back to tell y'all there isn't a reverse retro jersey for Timo yet. Uh-oh. Caker Girl needs her Seal Teal in 28. Will I play some NHL 23 this year? Absolutely. Oh, Felix. Wow, hit me with the good one and the serious one. I'll do this and one more because this doesn't have the good one to end on. But I do want to address it. Hockey's taking the appropriate steps forward, especially with all the controversies surrounding the Bruins. Let me just handle this from like a broad perspective because I would get into details. I probably want to prepare my thoughts and comments to really get specific, but the overall situation is this. They made a mistake that was not a decision that was forced on them. They had to put some thought into this. It kind of sounds like their decision put them in a spot where they got caught and called out. And they didn't expect that to happen, or people wouldn't pay attention to his history. So, and I do think like the NHL, I don't know, you discipline a team for signing somebody that was kind of like off limits or not approved. I don't know what you do. It's not like he played a game. It's not like he ever got that far, but I don't know what kind you want to send a message. That's what you want to do in this to the team. And I don't mean to the individual. I mean to the team across the league that here's how we're going to deal with situations like this that don't represent teams or brands or the game well. And I don't know what the future brings, but it's got to be something that is it's a precedent. I'll leave it at that. And yes, I know I'm talking about the Mitchell Miller situation, but they got caught. They got caught. They didn't expect this in their mind, it was going to not be a big deal or people would talk about it, but it wasn't enough to stop them. Like, you don't sign somebody without considering everything. Or maybe they thought they would gloss it over and say, yep, we checked the boxes, we talked to him, we're good. Yeah, that's not enough for everybody, obviously. Brody, you filmed some shots of the backstage area at SAP Center. Will I do the same at the Coliseum? Oh, you've always been intrigued by the maze of tunnels in the locker room area. Next season, I will definitely do that. And I'll also do some more at SAP Center maybe the next time that I'm there. Okay. What a night. What a Sharks night shift. This was fun to get back. This was fun to get back to live streaming. And it's now going to be fun, if you can believe this, for me to eat dinner. Yeah, it's almost 11 o'clock and I didn't even have the opportunity to eat tonight. So I'll be signing off with that. And also by saying that I appreciate all of you for being here tonight. I really do. Thanks for showing up, showing out. And we'll do it again on, what is tonight, Tuesday? Thursday night. Sharks Night Shift episode, well, I haven't done all of them, but we'll call it episode Game 19. We'll see you there. All right, thanks everybody. Be safe. Tons of other YouTube content on my channel, so check that out if you're still looking for something to watch. All right, good night.